Hello, this is Dr. Sibasis Bhoi, a psychiatry resident at Dr. Ramano Loya Hospital, New Delhi. They say that everyone who chooses psychiatry has a story to tell that why did they get into the subject. And here I'll be telling my story of choosing psychiatry. To give a better perspective, let me tell you something about my childhood. I belong to a humble middle class family, father a government officer, mother a housewife, and have spent most of my childhood in a small rural hilly town which is Fulbani that is located in the state of Odisha. I have spent my initial years up till my class 10th there, and then I moved to a different city in Odisha for my 11th and 12th. And to give an idea about what kind of a student I was in my 11th and 12th, I was more into physics as compared to biology, but somehow I managed to get into the medical college. And it was very much well celebrated in my family and also in my village, as I was the first generation doctor of my family. And then I entered into my MBBS. And during the initial years of MBBS, I was a very shy kind of a kid. I would I would always avoid conversation with girls because I was very much underconfident about myself, about my looks, about my talents, and everything about myself. And for a shy kid, social media seems to be a lucrative option to search for partners. Similarly, I was during this first year of MBBS, I was having some immature kind of relations of issues, and this was uh, this has also led me to start reading some kind of non-fiction self-help books in order to get away from all this. And during this time, I could remember of a day, which was just the day prior to the pharmacology paper. I could feel that I had a lot to read, but I was not able to read. I have tried it in my library, in my hostel room, but I was not able to read. At, the, at that time, I could realize that there is something happening in my head or in my mind which is not letting me read. And I got very much curious about that what is that thing, what is happening inside my mind, and the curiosity was much more greater than the pharmacology paper which is there the next day. And similarly, during this period, I was also started having various like existential crisis kind of a thing, where I was trying to find that what is the meaning of my life, what I am living for, and what is the purpose of my life, what is happiness. And this led me to explore some kind of books, especially books written by Dalai Lama on life, on happiness, some books written by psychologists, and try to observe and analyze my external world and get some meaning out of it. And during this time, this 19-year kid could derive some conclusions out of all this. The first conclusion which I could draw at that time is that the purpose of my life is to be happy. And what I could observe is that some people are happy even earning in lakhs, and some people are sad even after earning in crores. Some people are striving for famous, and some people are sad even after getting so famous. Then I could realize this happiness is a very subjective kind of a thing, and our mind is very central to that. I could realize that if you are able to mold your thoughts, mold your mind in some other way, you would be more happier than before. The second conclusion which I could draw is that in order to become happy, you need to be happy at your work. And your work constitutes of a very significant amount of time. Let's say around, like what I could observe is that the average person is spending around 7 to 8 hours every day, which could stand for 30 to 40% of all the waking hours of his life. And I could realize that if you need to be happy at work, you need to love your work the most. This is the second conclusion. And during this time, the curiosity of knowing about human mind grew just exponentially. I was mind blown to see the complexity of human mind, the nature of human thoughts, emotions, and behavior. I was just awestruck to see the flexibility of human mind and how we could change it for the better. This was the time I was pretty much sure that I am going to pursue something or other that is related to human mind. But this poor, illiterate third year MBBS student did not know that which branches is really going to offer what I am interested in. That whether it is neurology or it is psychiatry or it is neurosurgery. But slowly and slowly towards the initial part of my final year, I could figure it out that it is psychiatry which I am really interested about, and this is a subject which I am going to pursue. And then intensive started, and as usual, our seniors used to ask me that what subject you are going to pursue in future. And when I would reply psychiatry, there are three kind of specific replies that I could get from my seniors. The first kind, some would say that okay, it is nice, you can take it. The second one, they would not say anything. They would just pass a hunting smile and just pass. And I would not be able to forget those hunting smile for months. And then the third one, where they would say कि ये तो सब बोलने वाली बात होता है, जब रैंक आती है तब ये सब कोई लेता. And somehow, towards the end of my intensive, I appeared for my NEET PG, and I got a rank which could get me some conventional branches in my state. And these are the branches which my parents and my family members would very much be happy about. At that point of time, I realized that the real struggle of choosing the branch starts after the announcement of the result. Previously, everything was in air. But when the real time came of taking the decision, then the reality struck me. My parents were not very happy about my decision. My sister was even against of my decision. At that point of time, I was even doubting my decision. I was even looking for the alternative options that I had. But the good part is, my parents have never forced me to take any decision. Rather, they have given me the whole freedom to take my own decision. And I also got support from my best friend, which eventually landed me in MD Psychiatry. Now, after spending 2 years in the Department of Psychiatry, there are 3 things which I can say confidently. First, if you are one of my kind of a person who is really interested in psychiatry but is still confused to go for it or to avoid this branch just because what other people will say about you, then you must and you should ignore all the noises that is coming from outside. Rather, listen to what your heart is saying. I could assure you that it will be worth it. Moreover, the society and the branch needs people like you who are really interested in the branch, would love them to join the branch, explore the branch and excel in it. And the second one is, there is a common notion that your mental health dips after you join psychiatry. But I can confidently say that this is a complete myth. Rather, I could say that the reverse is true. You are better able to handle your own emotions. You are better able to analyze your own thoughts. You are better able to empathize with other people. You become better listeners throughout this process of becoming a psychiatrist. And this is quite evident when I could observe some of my senior consultants. And the third thing is that the income, the money aspect of this branch. Now I could say it confidently that uh, that the income is not very much dependent on the branch you are taking up. Rather, it is very much dependent on what you are doing with the branch. Whether you are going for a government setup, whether you are going for a private setup, or whether you are opening your own setup, it is very much dependent on that rather than the branch. And you can earn whatever you want. I have seen psychiatrists earning very high amounts like 15-20 lakhs per month to the other psychiatrists who are earning very average amount like 1-2 lakhs per month. That's it. Thank you for your active listening. And if you have any query about this branch, then put it in your comment box. I would love to help you in with whatever knowledge I have. Bye bye. See you in the next video.